My friends, Games Workshop dropped an absolute bombshell this morning. Generally, when new factions for an edition are revealed, there's a big reveal show of some sort. But Games Workshop said, how about no, and released all of the details for the new faction coming with 10th edition. On the release roadmap, this was the Codex that was redacted. We didn't really know what was going to come here, and there were some speculations that it might be Blood Angels, some speculations that it might be Leagues of Wotan. But we can put all of that to rest now because the new faction is going to be the Imperial Agents. Some things have changed and some things haven't. But I'm HoodGuard and this is your Monday Warhammer wrap-up. Let's get into it.
There is no peace amongst the stars, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war.
Alright, let's talk Imperial Agents. We have a couple of smaller things to talk about at the end that are not related to this, but let's get into the meat of today. Now there's a lot coming with this new release, and though we don't have all the details, we do have the basics. There's of course the Imperial Agents Codex that's coming with this release, all of the new rules for this faction, but I'm more interested in the lore. I'm hoping there's going to be something about the Inquisition interacting with a newly resurgent Lionel Johnson. I'm also hoping for some type of conflict to start arising between the Inquisition and Belisarius Cawl. We saw in Genefather that Cawl was essentially put on trial by an agent of the Inquisition. He is violating a lot of laws while trying to save the Imperium, and I'm very interested to see how the Inquisition is going to reconcile that. But moving on to the actual Imperial Agents armies, they're broken down into the three main ordos of the Inquisition. There's the Ordo Xenos, Ordo Malleus, and Ordo Hereticus battle forces. The Ordo Xenos battle force gets Inquisitor Kyria Draxus, a Navigator, a squad of Voidsmen at arms, a Rogue Trader entourage, and a Corvus Blackstar, along with some Death Watch veterans. Now there is some very specific language around the Death Watch. The Death Watch kill teams are going to be joining the retinue units. The article also states that the new codex also features Watchmasters, Corvus Blackstars, and Watch Captain Artemis returning to the range after an absence, so you can include a full Death Watch contingent in any Imperium army, complete with leaders, squads, and transports. Those with full Death Watch Space Marine armies needn't worry. They can add the Death Watch specific units to a Space Marine army of black-clad units like Intercessors and Terminators, melding the strong foundations and detachments of Codex Space Marines with theme specialists from Codex Imperial Agents. Now this seems to be maybe dancing around the fact that they might not have a Death Watch specific codex for the Death Watch. All of the rules and all of their integrations might be just included in this codex. And I'm thinking that because of something that was said about the next battle force we're talking about, the Ordo Malleus. So the first thing about the Ordo Malleus, they are the only battle force that's getting any type of new model. And that's the newly redesigned Inquisitor Cotias. They've redesigned his model to look less like a Space Marine and more like a human in power armor. And though I do think the model looks cleaner, he is a wide lad, just bordering on that edge of tubby looking. I also think he looked cooler when he had the two-headed eagle perched on an arm rather than its own separate piece. But hey, those are just my opinions. If you have a different one, let me know in the comments below. But along with the Inquisitor, the Ordo Malleus gets a group of Inquisitorial agents, a Ministorum Priest with Vindictor, a Culexus Assassin, a Chimera, and a squad of Grey Knights Terminators. Now just like the Death Watch acts as the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Xenos, the Grey Knights act as the Chamber Militant for the Ordo Malleus. And it says, finally, don't worry Grey Knights players, this is only the first chance you'll have to send your Terminators off on a demon hunting crusade. There will be a dedicated Grey Knights Codex on the way next year, but there are still a few factions to get through before the Knights of Titan start to peek their shiny battle plate over the horizon. And that's why I'm thinking that the Death Watch is not getting their own codex. Why would they make that disclaimer for the Grey Knights and not the Death Watch? And I do somewhat understand, the Death Watch is definitely more specialized and niche than the Grey Knights are. So maybe folding them into the Imperial Agents faction is a good thing. And last is the Ordo Hereticus. They get access to Inquisitor Greyfax, a Ministorum Priest, and squads each of the Battle Sisters and Adeptus Arbites. And Ordo Hereticus Battle Sisters will bring along their own Immolators and Rhinos. Overall, a very exciting time for Inquisition fans. Though I'm sure there are some people that are upset that there aren't as many refreshes or new models. Especially with something like the Grey Knights who have issues with scale already, it's kind of confirmed now that we're not getting any new models of them till next year. No word from Games Workshop on when the pre-order date for this is, though I have heard that influencers have already gotten their press packages, so hopefully it'll be soon. Alright, before we head out today, we have to talk about the two random pieces of Warhammer merch that have gotten some shine this week. First up is that Warhammer is coming to Target. I know we've talked about this on my channel before, but Space Marine Adventures Tyranid Attack, the board game, is finally available at Targets in the US. I think this is another one of Games Workshop's push to make Warhammer a little bit more accessible and more mainstream. From what I can tell, the board game is a simplified version of Space Hulk and would be good for getting younger teenagers into the world. And last on the docket is Weta Workshop coming out of nowhere as usual and calling us all broke. Earlier this year, they released a premium 1/6 scale statue of Captain or Lieutenant Titus now, and it is an amazing detailed statue that stands about 2 feet tall. But the price tag on it was between $1,100 and $1,400. Well, they've come out with a new statue, this time of Abaddon the Despoiler. The detail is insane, the paint job on it is spectacular, but guess how much it cost? This chaos corrupted baby will run you just about $1,900. This is one of those things where I wouldn't tell anybody if I ever won the lottery, but there would be signs moments. Because flanking my doorway would be one Captain Titus statue and one Abaddon statue. And it would be just a real calm, almost $4,000 flex. So if you have the car payment to put on this statue, they're only making $700, so hurry up and get yours. Alright my friends, that's gonna about do it for today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one.